Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
Well, thank you so much for this transmission. So grateful. I have some questions, kind of riffing off of the last set of questions. Um, so as far as the experiences that that have the potential to change our coding or our ancestral coding, as you mentioned. Is there, is that also a possibility with other types of connections, such as what is considered twin flames? Or can you also explain and clarify what you feel are twin flames? I know you have spoken about that before, but I want to get some clarity for myself. If you could please speak to that.
Yes. So we'll talk about this in understanding of a soulmate relationship as well,
Mhm.
as what we consider soulmates is a form of connection that is happening when two souls are both part of the same oversoul or soul group,
Mhm.
and they reach a clear level of self realization, you could say,
Mhm.
of awakening to that source self in which they more completely individuate and they understand that the love that they are experiencing is an internal energy that becomes mirrored back and forth to the other soul.
Mhm.
They understand that they are not, in a sense, bound to each other. The twin flame is a phenomena that takes place when both souls are under the assumption that they are a one soul experiencing itself in separate bodies that is sometimes articulated in a different way, though this idea is essentially suggesting that these two souls are inseparable. And it creates a state of codependency in the physical realm, and it creates a sense of energetic entanglement in a energetic at an energetic level in which everything that one soul experiences affects the other soul because of the deep level of bondedness. So, in terms of that initial part of the question, in either such dynamic, when there is a close relationship between two souls, yes, there will be an effect that as you change, transform, and release certain belief systems, it will inevitably affect the others that you're engaged with. And sometimes they will be willing to match and the change that you have created, and other times they will attempt to change you back and, in a sense, revert you to the person you once were, as they are unwilling to change in a way that they could actually meet the new version of you.
Aha. Okay. So then to that, how does one mm, approach that? It feels like an impasse then for one to make some decisions about what then to happen. Is this relationship, might it um connect and reconnect and disconnect at various times.
It's possible that a relationship evolves through many different levels of disconnection and reconnection. In a sense, all of your relationships go through these phases as you take space away from each other.
Mm.
Though sometimes, even despite physical space or lack of communication, there's still a deep level of connection and energy being shared and exchanged between souls that are in such a relationship.
Yes. Okay. So this makes so much sense to me, and I feel like this is resonating very much with me. So what then, is there a purpose to this type of relationship as far as, I don't know, the ascension of the collective? Is there a collective purpose or a goal that these types of relationships might be here for?
Relationship?
So when you talked about these deep relationships that could be a twin flame
Yes.
kind of relationship, is that serving a certain purpose just for our own personal growth, or is there some purpose that it could serve, I don't know, for the collective or for others, if that makes
Well,
sense?
the twin flame relationship that is very enmeshed is popular in your world because so many individuals do not feel as deeply their own connection to source on their own. And so they seek the source connection through their partner.
Okay. So essentially, is this a somewhat quote unquote unhealthy kind of codependency?
It's limited, but we, and there are aspects of it that will cause pain, but
Mhm.
calling it unhealthy denies the validity of the process,
Mm-hmm.
as it's sort of like a learning curve,
Mm.
a phase of the journey that each soul has their own soul agreements to
Mhm.
go through and to wake up from.
Mm.
And once a twin flame sort of relationship can become a soulmate sort of relationship, it isn't as if one, it isn't as if it's not possible for the lessons to be learned within a relationship and for the dynamic within the relationship to change. There isn't anything wrong with this style of relating, but we will describe some of the limitations. And again, the essential nature of source is love. And all of the love that you experience is source. You experience this love when you see a beautiful sunset. You experience it when you do a beautiful practice of running or yoga or swimming, and you feel your body very alive. You experience it through a fun night out with your friends dancing or conversing, and you experience it with the most passionate moments of love with another human. And of all of these experiences, this is perhaps the most profound and intense of an experience that many of you have. And
Mm.
so, for the majority of people in the world, love with another human is the closest they will experience source. And for this reason, you cling to one another, but it creates a an unhealthy tendency within the relationship and within each individual to feel as if they are disconnected from source. They connection and agreement and total alignment with the other person. The natural nature of cycles of life is that sometimes you agree, sometimes you don't.
Dante, we lost your audio a little bit. Yeah.
Better now?
Yes, that's better. Thank you.
All right. So again, the challenge is that if you don't feel that connection source without the connection, agreement, and alignment with the other person that you love, you are essentially blocking your source connection. As the natural nature of life is that it is not always time to be together, and there are times when you will disagree, and there are times when you will need to be alone, and there will be times in which there is dissonance. But if that energy causes you to feel as if you're not connected with source and that love cannot be present, then you are limiting yourself in a way that's blocking the full blossoming of your potential.
Uh-huh.
And so the transformation is in recognizing that the love you're experiencing is not an energy that comes from the other person. And this is perhaps the easiest way to experience this is meditate upon and reflect upon all of the experiences of love that you had. When you watched the beautiful sunset, did the love come into you from the sun, or did your heart open from within? When you enjoyed the night out with your friends, did your friends implant the love within you, or did the love blossom from within your own heart? When you experience deep love with your romantic partner or partners, did that energy come from them and into you, or did you experience this energy within your own heart? Reflecting on many experiences in this way will come to bring you to remember absolutely that love is an inner experience of source. And if you can remember that inner experience of source, source will never leave you. If you know that source is who you're loving whenever you're making love, you will be indifferent to the comings and goings, the alignment and the dissonance, and all of the polarity that is involved with these intimate relatings with other human beings. You will come to individuate more in a way that creates both more autonomy for yourself, but more harmony within the relationship, because you will come to understand that source is who you're loving and your partner is just a mirror for source. This will transform a twin flame relationship into a soulmate relationship.
Ah, thank you so much. This is so profound, and I really appreciate your insights. Thank you.
Thanks to you as well.